whisky world, and today it's time to discover a new whiskey from my whiskey tasting chest. Let's start with choosing the whiskey that I will taste today, and for that I will use the help of Siri again. Alright, so let's ask Siri which whiskey we should taste. Hey Siri, please give me a random number between 1 and 15.
A random number between 1 and 15 is 4.
Alright. Hey Siri, please give me a random number between 1 and 8.
It's 7.
Alright, so 4 and 7. Let's go and count. Alright, let's record this again. Alright, 4 and then 7 is this one. Alright, let's fill this up. And then see what we're gonna get. Alright, so straight away from the beginning I can tell this is a peated whiskey. I can also tell that I let the chest open, so let's close that first. Alright, let's continue. So yeah, it's quite clearly that this is a peated whiskey to me. The peat is there, so it's quite heavily peated. I get some bonfire notes, some saltiness, ash, a hint of honey. No obvious wood style of maturation, which can indicate that this is just not an active whiskey that has been in an active cask, or something like ex-bourbon without huge influences. Excuse me. If you're wondering why my recordings have been slow, it's because of this. I'm coughing every now and then. My throat has been sore. I can still feel it, but goes better. But it's difficult to really do a blind tasting when your sensors are not that good, and then it's very difficult to indicate how good the whiskey is, if you really like it and what style it is. But today I felt up for it and I'm looking forward to it. So let's see which peated whiskey this is, because that's something that I'm sure of. Quite some wood spices, to be honest. It's peppery, perhaps a little bit of cinnamon. It's quite heavily peated. I'm thinking a little bit in the styles of Laphroaig, perhaps the Ardbeg. On the palate it's lovely coating. It is spicy. It has some creamy influences, some vanilla, some honey. So I'm going for like a bourbon cask, perhaps even a quarter cask. Alcohol is not that high on this. I'm thinking around 46%. Yeah, perhaps a little bit over that, 48, or a little bit lower, could be. It's not a thin whiskey, that's for sure not. Yeah, lovely, nice, peaty notes on here. A little bit of that seashore, ocean-like saltiness. Bonfire on the beach, perhaps with a little bit of barbecue style meat on it. Perhaps a little bit of dark chocolate on the palate. Yeah, dark chocolate, some mocha. Yeah, perhaps 43% alcohol is also possible, if I'm honest. Because I'm not getting that much of a burning sensation if it would be very high alcohol. But it's not a thin whiskey, so it's a good whiskey. Let's start with that. Price wise, what is your standard peated expression cost? Perhaps between 40 till 70 euros, 80 euros. Um, I'm going towards Isla style peated whiskies. Yeah, I'm like 90% sure it's Isla. Of course, there are some whiskies that look a lot with at Isla style whiskies, but they're not. Um, like a Springbank Long Row edition is also quite heavily peated, or a Laphroaig is also heavy peated. But I have the feeling this is more, yeah, more like a Laphroaig Quarter Cask, Ardbeg 10, something like that. And I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, on the nose there is that peat, which is so obvious, bonfire style, wood burn, smoke, a little bit of wood spices, especially on the palate, quite some. Yeah, with some dark chocolate, perhaps espresso coffee, yeah. So it's a nice, very nice peated whiskey. I'm not thinking it's like an Octomore, it's not that heavy peated. It's also not that strong in ABV. So if I would have to guess, I would think this might be Ardbeg 10, perhaps the Laphroaig. But of course, not 100% sure. I'm not sure what else that is peated that I have in here. Like I know I have two Laphroaigs in here at least. So the 10-year-old and the Quarter Cask. So of those two, this might be the Quarter Cask because it was quite spicy from wood spices on the beginning. Let me check the time, by the way, before we get carried away with that. Alright, so I have actually not that long anymore. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop the recording, restart it again, take another sip, and then see what my final verdict is before I reveal what this whiskey is. Alright, one more sniff, one more sip. Yeah, no new notes to discover. It's just a lovely peated whiskey. Yeah, recommendable. If you like peated whiskies, this is a very good one. I think that it's not going to be that expensive. 40-50 euros perhaps. Yeah, perhaps even lower. Well, 40-50 euros would be great. If it would be a lot more expensive, then I think that for the same amount of money, or well, for a little less money in that case, you would get the Ardbeg 10 or Laphroaig Quarter Cask, what this style is more or less about. Let's see what this is. Alright, so it's the V325. Now let's open the file. Alright, I have to download the file, as you see. Let me have some water. Still loading. Alright, it's not loading at the moment. Let me try to restart it. It was supposed to be downloaded, but it didn't want to open the app. Now it works just fine, okay. So V325. Laphroaig Quarter Cask. When I tasted it and I got those heavy wood spices, that was my first thought. Laphroaig Quarter Cask. It's a very nice whiskey. The price is good, especially when you can get it on offer. I bought a bottle, I think on the Amazon Prime days, which was like 28 or 30 euros perhaps. So for that money, get it. I really enjoy it. If you like your whiskies peated with quite some influence from the cask, but not like the sweeter notes from a finish, but just wood spices, this is a great whiskey. You get the bonfire smoke from wood on the beach. Yeah, I'm happy that I got the whiskey correct, because last couple times I was not that sharp. I had the feeling. Of course, it's difficult. Well, I'm doing this blind. I have no idea what I'm gonna get. There's still more than 100 different samples in here, so there are quite some different possibilities. There are styles that are looking a lot like each other. So yeah, I'm happy that the Laphroaig Quarter Cask was one of the casks that I mentioned. I'm happy that this one was it. And if you haven't tried it yet, go and buy a bottle. If you can get it a little bit reasonably priced, I would say around 40 euros, it's a little bit more sometimes. It's worth it. It's 48% ABV, so that's nice. It's not very strong, but it just is a wonderful whiskey for in winter when you're sitting perhaps at the fireplace, or even in summer if you go to the beach and you make a fire, take this with you. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to check out any other video that you want to watch. I'll put some suggestions here. Feel free to like this video if you enjoyed it. You can follow me if you want to join me on my quest to taste all these whiskies in this blind whiskey sample chest. Thanks for watching and have a good one. Bye bye.